Welcome to Grunewald Pipes. It's Saturday, about 9 a.m. Don't know if anybody hop on live this time of day, but just out and about, going on a Briar Recon trip, or a Briar Acquire trip. It's a little chilly outside. Let me move you over and see what the dash says. It's 10 degrees. It's been worse, hasn't it? I am central Indiana, but I'm headed over to Ohio. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. And I didn't know we were going to get snow. Not sure how much snow we're going to get, but turn you around and let you see. Oh, and I-70 is a lovely piece of human engineering. They have figured out how to make the most roller coaster like bumpy ride that you can have on a straight piece of pavement. Just thought I'd come on and show you guys what Grunewald Pipes is willing to do, all to make sure you guys can have some high quality pipes. It's not always just sitting in the shop grinding on a pipe or sanding on a pipe or turning a pipe or turning a stem or hand cutting a stem. Whoa, what in the world is that moron doing in front of me? This trailer's a little walkie. Looks like a, I don't know what they call that. I forget what they call that dog. The whole angle of the trailer is sitting over about 2 feet from the front of the trailer. Here, I'll spin you around and let you look at this. They obviously have the axles mounted on the trailer crooked. Look at that nonsense. You'd be able to eyeball it and get it straighter than that. I don't know what that guy's doing. He decided he wants to stay in the fast lane when there's nobody in front of him on the normal lane. I like to get around people like that. What a clown. Good morning. How you doing? It's kind of nasty out. I wasn't realizing we were going to get this kind of snow today, although it's not accumulating yet. Just reducing visibility. I'm sure it has some effect to the quality of the road, but that guy's finally back there getting over in the other lane where he should have been. He wasn't passing anybody. Here's what it looks like on I-70 here in central Indiana, heading over towards Columbus, Ohio. Flip you around here. Sorry for the shakiness, but this road is horrible. Morning, Plunder. How's it going? I'm not doing anything fun today. I'm just out and about, going to try to secure some more Briar. And I didn't even realize we were going to get any kind of real snow. Last week, the wife didn't want me coming over here to Ohio to get Briar because we had that big snowstorm coming in. It's coming down fairly steady now. I don't think it'll get nearly as bad as last week was, but it's definitely worse than what I thought it would be, but that's all right. Here at Grunewald Pipes, we are willing to go above and beyond. This is about a 4-hour trip for me, one way, 3.5 to 4 hours. So I'm going to spend most of the day today going over to acquire some Briar to put on my shelves at home and have for future pipes. I still have somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 blocks at home, but need to continue to build up some stock so I have stuff down the road. Whoa, man, look at that. Whoa, sorry. Now I zoomed in somehow. That's how crazy this road is. I guess it's because all these semis are constantly cutting across Indiana and Ohio. I guess they just wear these roads out. Carrying all that heavy weight just destroys it. I think they could, seems like they work on it quite a bit. You think they'd be able to maintain it a little bit better than what they do. Shot behind me. That guy's staying pretty close. That's all right. He's behind me at the moment, anyhow. Jeez. Looks like somebody from China or Japan said hi from the looks of their name. I can't make any of that out. Probably not surprised by that. There he goes around. He's in a little bit bigger hurry than me. He's got a handicap plate. That cracks me up. Me and the wife are out and somebody's taking their time or having a hard time getting around, seems like, and I make some comment and the wife's always like, well, he's handicapped. Okay, he's in a car, honey. He should be able to go too. That guy's obviously going. Is it dusting of snow so far? Hey, Greg, how's it going? I don't know if people here really know how to drive in it either, Greg. You see a lot of slide offs when we start getting snow, it seems like. Went into work. It was probably, let's see, 2 days after that snow that we had last weekend. They didn't have us going to work on Monday. We went in on Tuesday. One of the guys came from Greenwood, and he said he saw like 5 wrecks on the way to work on Tuesday morning. I mean, come on, those roads should have been fairly clear at that point. I was just telling everybody, this is what Grunewald Pipes does, Greg. We go above and beyond. I am out and about in this weather, going to secure some more Briar to ensure that I can deliver some nice pipes for everybody at the shows and post on the Instagram channel. 100 blocks of Briar at home, but I want to build up the stock a little bit. Holy smokes, this road. Man, seems like they work on this highway a lot too for it to be as rough as it is. Indiana and Ohio for roads, because you travel and go on vacation to go to other states and their roads are just perfectly smooth. I don't know if somebody's brother-in-law we're hiring to do the roads is not very capable, or whether some money's get slid under the table and hiring people that way. I'm not sure why in the world we can't have better roads than this. Seems like if you get a 100-yard stretch of good road here, you're doing well. Here we go again. More bumps. Jeez. It does seem like, whoa, sorry. It does seem like the passing lane is typically a little smoother for some reason. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Didn't mean to. Missouri roads suck, namely St. Louis. Yeah, we didn't get anything last night. This didn't start till I left home. Probably about 20 minutes after I left home, it started coming down. So I figure 3.5 to 4 hours over, spend a couple hours getting something to eat, picking up some Briar, sorting through some Briar, and try to find some nice blocks. I haven't decided exactly how much I'm going to pick up, but I probably should get a decent amount of it. And it sure is pretty out here with all this snow. I'll show you the side view again. The snow's still hanging on the tree limbs. I've always thought that was really cool. Go out hunting, especially you get on a creek that's frozen over and look down the creek and all the limbs hanging over the creek, all the snow sitting on the limbs. Winter wonderland out here right now. Yeah, I don't mind driving in the winter. It's not that big a deal. You working today, Greg? R.Y. Bread Piper, 1972. How you doing? Oh, this guy had to change lanes. Oh, I see why. Got a Mr. Popo sitting on the side. For what reason? Don't know. Ah, here it is. Something up here, maybe. Yep, there's another. Looks like an Indiana State boy. What's he doing? Nothing else going on. Is there something else up ahead? Yep. Another Popo with a trailer. Looks like he had a flat or something. He kind of slid off the road a little bit back there. Hopefully we can get moving again. You're just chilling. Awesome. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad out here. The missus will probably let me know about it when she starts looking on Facebook or seeing on the news that we're getting snow. She'll be letting me know how I shouldn't have been out driving around. Wouldn't go through on my email. Um, well, Rye, typically I don't do commissions unless it falls within kind of my normal, whoa, bunch of ice. Unless it falls within like my normal style of pipes that I do. And then sometimes I'll do one with the idea that if you like it when I'm done, um, that's great. If it doesn't live up to uh, what you were kind of thinking, then with it being in my realm of things, I can usually just put it on the table of the pipe show or post it. But actual commissions, I don't do those a whole lot because I just don't feel comfortable trying to make something that somebody else has pictured in their head, because I have a hard time sometimes making what I have pictured in my head. Either that or the Briar says, yeah, I don't care what's in your head due to flaws or what have you. Um, the email is GRUNEWALDPIPES at iCloud.com, and it should go through. 9mm Dublin. Um, Trying to think if I have tenons at home for a 9mm and a Dublin. Long pipe. How long are you thinking on that Dublin? I think my Ranger pipes are typically around 8 3/4 to 9 1/4, somewhere 9 inches, somewhere right in there. Um, I have a Ranger pipe, a sandblasted Ranger. I don't know if a Ranger is close enough to a Dublin, but I don't. It's not 9mm. Come to think of it, uh, I'm actually carrying some of my pipes with me today. I have them in my briefcase to my side. Holy smokes! I think that was a bird. That dude just come out of nowhere and smacked the windshield. That was crazy. Um, yeah, I have to look when I get home to see if I have the tenons for a 9mm filter at home. Um, are you thinking smooth or sandblasted, or? And I'm assuming you're wanting the cherry stem like on most of my well, not most, but all my Shire series. Oh, check this out! I got me a new hat, guys. This is the first one of this style of hat that I've got, and I tried on a hat kind of similar to this. but it was more of a generic. This one's actually one of the Boston Scallies or whatever they're called. Check that out. I thought that was pretty cool. And the nice thing is, with not having much insulation on the top, that's the main reason I got that, because that dude is warm. You put that on your head, keeps your hairless head warm. I saw Will Bill with one of your pipes and think it was a 9 millimeter. I like it sandblasted is good. Okay. Yeah, try sending me another email, Rye, and we can probably talk through that. You prefer your top hat? Yeah, you look good in your top hat, Blunder. I like it. But my thought with these flat caps was they're wool, so, or at least I think they're wool. They're some sort of thick fabric. I thought they would work well with keeping your head warm. I think your top hat you wear is leather, isn't it? Which, I mean, keeping the air off at all is going to help keep your head warm some. But I just thought with a wool cap, I mean, wool's known for warmth. I figured it'd make for this nasty weather. It'd make good for keeping my head warm. The first flat cap I tried on didn't go over so well with the missus. We were out somewhere and it was some generic brand and wasn't very well fitted. And I think it was a little puffier looking. It wasn't like full blown newsboy, big, big fluffy thing, but it was definitely fluffier than this one. And I tried it on, and it hadn't been too long or too much earlier. A couple months earlier, they shown this guy on the TV that had been accused of abducting a couple girls. I think it was on the Monon Trail or something. And for some reason, she had in her head that I looked like a pervert because she thought that hat made me look similar to what this guy looked like because he was wearing a flat cap. And that was probably the whole thing. It was just a guy wearing a flat cap is what made her think of that. So I didn't get that one, needless to say. Columbus Pipe Show. Yep, I'm planning to be at the Columbus Pipe Show. I haven't reserved my table yet. I've got a table at Muletown and a table in Chicago reserved at both. Already got my hotels reserved at both of those locations. Um, I haven't seen the flyer yet for the Columbus show, but I definitely plan on being there. I started to say I enjoy the Columbus show, but in reality, I enjoy all the pipe shows. They're all a good time. It'd be nice to make it to more of them, but it's hard keeping up with enough pipes to go to them. And luckily, I think I have enough time off this year that I can make all the pipe shows. I might be able to make another one, but I'm not sure which one it would be yet. I'm wanting to go to. I'm wanting to go to. Oh, St. Claude Pipe Show in 27. But I'm gonna have to start cranking out some pipes so the company can afford to go to that one. And if I go to that one, it's going to be company / personal, I'm sure, because uh, Chris and his wife, I'm sure, will want to go to that. Uh, and I don't know about the daughter, if she'll have interest in going, but she'll have to pay her own way. Uh, Chris will probably pay for at least his wife, possibly himself, for the flight tickets over, because that's going to be pricey. So we'll see. I hope to be able to pay off some equipment. I still got to pay off my lathe. I also need to buy a new air compressor, a big air compressor, so I can do my sandblast. Whoa, I'm sorry about that. So I can do my sandblasting at my house. Uh, Currently, I have a friend, Wayne, that is awesome. He is very generous and lets me come over and use his sandblaster currently. So every 2 or 3 weeks, I try to make it over to his shop, hang out with him for the Saturday, and try to blast some pipes. But it would be very convenient if I could get my own sandblast setup going. And it's mainly I'm just waiting on a sandblaster. Uh, Island, St. Claude is over in France, I believe, Greg. St. Claude is what they consider the original home of the Briar pipe. Um, they used to employ all kinds of people making pipes in the early 1900s. There's still some pipe shops there. Camoy and Genode are both still there in St. Claude, but I think it's Chacombe or Camoy is one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head. One of them's still there. One of them's shut down. I think there's more than one pipe place that's shut down over there. That was back in their heyday, and the whole town's decorated. Got paintings of pipes everywhere. They got pipes um, where they use the brick to inlay pipe design on the sidewalks. They got pipes painted on the side of buildings. Um, and then they also, I think they did some sort of gyms or something there, or or was it coal? I can't recall. But there was another income for that city back in the early 1900s. But those two mainstreams was the lifeblood of that town. Now, like I say, I think you still have two, Genode and can't remember whether it's Camoys or Chacombe. One of the two is still there. Um, but yeah, I think it'd be really cool to go over there. I think you can find some videos on the St. Claude Pipe Show on YouTube still. It'd be interesting. Go check those out if you get some spare time. Uh, Louisiana. There probably is a St. Claude in Louisiana, Greg, just not the same one. That's funny. And your comment, you said flat caps, no. Well, you still got some hair on top of your head to keep your head warm. I've never, other than hunting, I've never been a huge hat person. Just in everyday life, I normally don't wear a lot of hats, but now that I've lost most of my hair and probably will continue to lose more, I'm probably going to need to wear more and more hats just to keep my little brain warm. If it gets too cold up there, those 3 or 4 brain cells I have may not be able to rub together and stay warm enough. It doesn't look like it's snowing a whole lot, but visibility's still not too great out here. I'm not sure where Chris Harriet and Bruno Nuttons is located. I don't think they're in St. Claude, but they're definitely over a lot closer to there than we are. But I can't remember for the life of me where they're at over there. But this will only be St. Claude's second pipe show. The first one was in 2025. And I think Bruno has a lot to do with being one of the driving forces in the St. Claude Pipe Show. Not sure what the market's like over there, uh, or what attendance is like. I need to go back and watch that video and see. I've wanted to go to the Vegas show, uh, but just flying to Vegas is probably half of what it would cost me to fly to St. Claude. Seems like somebody told me it was like $700 to fly to St. Claude. To fly to Las Vegas was $400 a person, and it's only roughly a month or so after Columbus, Ohio. So getting pipes ready for shows back to back like that is not easy with me currently, since I'm mainly making pipes after I get home from my regular job, my 40-hour week job. Um, it varies. Life gets in the way, and I think I only spend 10 to 12 hours a week working on pipes at home. Um, just depends on what's going on. Sometimes I'll work a little bit more, but I would say 10 to 12 hours a week is my average. So it's kind of hard to build up a decent stock in that amount of time. Although I'm hopeful the Emberling series will at least allow me to have more pipes at the show, since they do take a little less time to make than the Shire series. But what I found is I don't want to spend too much time on them either, because then that's going to diminish the number of Shire series pipes that I'll be able to have. It's kind of a catch-22. Currently, I've only got one Shire series that's made, and I've got, I want to say 6 that are on the rack right now that I finally got stems attached to last night. I need to go over them, make sure they're sanded fine enough to where they don't have scratches. I think 2 of the Ranger pipes, the top of the bowls need to be sanded down some to get the bowl proportional, or the stumble proportional. Um, and I think at least 3 of them need to go over to Wayne's to get sandblasted. Holy smokes, this road's rough. I probably said that once or twice. Um, so hopefully within the next week or so, I'll be able to make some decent progress. Oh yeah, go ahead. I was getting ready to pass you, but you might as well go ahead and change lanes. I mean, you had a few feet of clearance. I think if these semis are going to drive like they own the highway, they need to start paying for it. Crazy, crazy. I lost my train of thought with that guy swerving over in front of me. I mean, driving, okay, you want to switch lanes like that, but since the roads aren't ideal, seems like could have made a better choice there. Man. Warm Glow Candle Company outlet store. I haven't even made it out of Indiana yet. Hey, Greg, Montana Piper, how's it going? This probably don't look like anything to you coming from Montana. You're probably thinking this is just a normal day for you guys over there. The roads are pretty clear now, and it looks like the snow's let up. Maybe it's just the filth on my window that makes it look as hazy as it is. I'll clean it off and give you a great. One of my squirting mechanisms is not working. That stinks. Can't get the window very clean. Holy cow, that's nasty. I'm gonna have to pull over a gas station and clean my windshield now. That's ridiculous. Nope. Sorry. Sorry about the bouncing around. Yes, it is a crazy year. Global warming. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I just thought I'd come on and post a live. Mini Christmas. I'm traveling over about 3.5 hours east of where I live in order to go over and stock up on some Briar. I've still got about 100 blocks, I'd say, at home, but I build my stock and give myself some more options. It's kind of funny, you go to make a pipe and you dig through 100 blocks, or roughly half, and you're looking for something to inspire you. And you would think every block should inspire you. It's kind of silly. I mean, if somebody would have told me that before I became a pipe maker, whoa, I would have thought, man, that's a bunch of hogwash. Oh, gee, many Christmas. I've been complaining about the road all the way over here in Montana. These semis wear this road out. And I don't know who they're hiring to work on them and fix them. It seems like they're always here. They're actually working this stretch right now. They got us moved over on the shoulder and one lane, I think, not even a whole lane. And they've got it all blocked off in the center. I don't know if that showed in the last video. This is the way 70 usually looks. They're always working on it. Somewhere in between Indiana and Ohio, it's always getting work out on it. But it always drives. And look at this. This guy needs over because why? I don't know. Because there's a truck in front of him, two truck links up. I'm not sure what that was about. Now he got back over. Crazy, crazy. Evidently, he just didn't want to jog over in the lanes. He wanted to take both lanes there for a little bit. He finally got back over. I mean, they're not even working on it due to weather, obviously. But they've got us all pushed over here against the side. You would think, hey, it's going to be winter time here in a month. So all winter long, we're probably not going to work on this road. Should we go ahead and shove them over onto the berm and leave it blocked off all winter long, and then we'll work on it in the spring? Or should we just leave open what we have open? And for some reason, they decided it was better to shove everybody off over to the side, put up miles and miles of barricade. Smarter minds than mine, I guess, make those great decisions. Us little guys at the bottom just don't understand. Oh, we got the semis behind us for a little while. Have the same on your highway this year. This is what's silly, Chris, is this is every year. This isn't 1 year here or there. This is every year they work on this road, one stretch or another. And when they're done, it's very rarely any better than what it was because they can't lay down a flat piece of concrete. Well, I would preach on it, but I can't quote any scriptures on poor government decisions. They're probably in there somewhere. Working on a tiny bit, but they closed the road for several miles. Yeah, they're actually working on it. There in the middle, there was nothing. There you can actually see where they pulled into the middle to work on a little bridge. But they've got piles of stuff pushed into there where you couldn't drive on that for sure, where they tore up the concrete. And oh man, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take some pictures later when I start flipping tables. There you go. Uh, um, I'll have to take some pictures and try posting to YouTube and Instagram on this Briar I get. Hopefully, I get some nice Briar over here today. I hope that you're going to see over time the the grain orientation improve in Grunewald pipes. The Shire series, not so much yet. Um, I mean, there will be some that you'll see grain orientation improve on, but the original Shire series, Lord of the Rings style inspired pipes, uh, they were really never about grain orientation. They were more about uh, the vibe or the feel or something as far as being Lord of the Ring inspired, which I think they do well. Man, that guy doesn't even have a tire. He's down to a bare rim. That's rough. Um, but I'm hoping at some point moving forward, I'm going to have some Shire series that also capitalize on the grain more. Um, a lot of the artisan pipes you see are that are blasted have nice ring grain running around them, and I've had some Shire series since I've started blasting over at Wayne's that have definitely the ring grain has complemented uh, the pipes. Um, So I think that may end up becoming a new sub-series. No, a new subset. I don't know what the best word would be for that. Um, so I have my Shire series basically, and within my Shire series, I'll have the ones where grain orientation is not being maximized, uh, just because not all blocks are cut for the grain to be maximized, and typically a lot of that has to do with cost of the block. Looks like I'm finally the Indiana-Ohio line. I'll show you the sign here. They got a nice little archway going over into it. It says, "Welcome to the heart of it all." Huh. Hey, there's somebody off in the ditch there. Lawn care services. Gimli inspired pipe. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I probably need to do some more of those. Currently, I've only done the one. Um, but yeah, I need to probably try to do some more of the Gimli pipes. The the shape was the main draw with the original Shire series, so I'll still have those, um, because you can't turn every block and match the grain. I know some of these guys are doing, well, not some, a lot of guys do drill after shaping, because then you can freehand shape according to the grain and then drill after that. I have not done that procedure yet. And even if you have that ability, not all blocks that they cut are large enough to be able to rotate it at an angle, even not 90 degrees, but even coming in at an angle. They're not don't have the overall dimensions to where you'd be able to make a good sized pipe out of it, like the Wizard pipe or the Ranger pipe, um, if you had the grain optimized. So there's always going to be Shire series pipes that are aligned this way, whereas their grain will be off kilter. And but yeah, that's just something to kind of keep an eye out for in the future. Um, I'm hoping to have. I've had a few, like I say, where the orientation, where the ring grains are just stacked on them or slightly off, and I'm gonna try to pick up some Briar and make some attempt to have a little bit higher line or subset in the Shire series, that where I bought a little bit more expensive blocks and I've lined up the grain on the pipe better. Thanks, Chris. Glad you're liking the Emberling series. Yeah, what some of the guys call their handmaids. Um, I've got a Lavat. I don't know if you guys have seen it on YouTube or seen it on Instagram. I just posted a little video of that that I'm just thrilled to death with. I think that's really got to be my best pipe ever. I know a lot of these guys have uh, a special stamp to go on some of their pipes. I'm not really, I haven't graduated to that yet or moved to that yet, but I am just thrilled to death with the way that Lavat turned out. Uh, has very nice straight grain. It would have been a cool straight grain smooth, but it had a couple little dark spots. Some guys call them sand spots or something in them. So I couldn't make it as smooth. I had to blast it. But the ring grain looks pretty cool. It's not real heavily rusticated. It's not heavily blasted, real craggy, but it's blasted enough that you can see the ring grain. You can see all the straight grain on the pipe going up. It just turned out awesome little pipe. It's just natural. I didn't put any stain on it. It's just the coloring from the clear coat and the polishes that colored it up a little bit. It's got a black and blue SEM hand cut mouthpiece on it, and I'm holding it back for the Chicago show. Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing everybody at the Chicago show. Thanks, 209 Piper. And then I've got a smooth one that looks like it's turning out. That's another Lavat. I have not hand cut the stem for it yet, and I think it's going to make a natural also. I don't plan on staining it, just putting the clear coat on it and polishing it up. It's just going to have a black ebonite stem on it though. And the Lavat that I posted, some may say it's not really a Lavat with the black and blue stem, because it's not a true saddle bit. It's more of a hybrid between a saddle and a taper. I'm hoping that the smooth I'm making, I plan to have a saddle bit on it, so it'll be more of a true Lavat. But dimension-wise, they're real close to the same pipe as far as the stummel. The main difference will just be one smooth, one blasted, and one of them have an ebonite, one of them have the SEM blue and black. Need to come with more of the X1X blend. It was awesome. I very appreciate you making it. Cool. Yeah, I saw you talking about that X1X blend. Now, did you say it was Innerdale and what did you say the other component was? I can't remember what you said the two components. And is it a 50-50 mix? I've heard Jonathan talk about it before, but I forget what he said goes into it. I think I have some Innerdale at home, a new tin that I'm not open. Get Doc to Chicago this year. Heck, I say we get everybody to Chicago this year. All you guys need to show up. It's going to be a good time. Maybe we get brutal enough to fly in. Talk about some heavy conversations we could have there in the smoking tent. Gallup Hogarth, cherry vanilla. I do not have any of that. Well, I'm coming over here to Ohio today to pick up Briar. I would love to have some time to run over to one of their brick and mortars. While I'm there, I'll try to pick up some Gallup Hogarth cherry vanilla. You need to sell more blades to make that show. Oh, I know the feeling. Hey, maybe that's it, Chris. I mean, Plunder. Chris, sorry about that. Maybe you need to get a table at the Chicago show. Shh, Chris, keep that on the down low. Don't tell everybody where I'm going to get Briar. Shh, man, exposing my sources. No, you're right, Chris. I'm heading to Premel's. He's a good guy. So I'm going to go over there and try to stock up on some Briar. It'll probably have to sit for a little while, but that's okay. RY Bread Pipers in Ohio. Awesome. All right, Chris, I'll tell him. Now, don't think less of me, Chris. What's your last name? I'm struggling to bring it to the forefront of my little brain. The tables are a little bit pricey up there, unfortunately, Plunder. Um, but I mean, I guess it's part of doing business. I've just accepted that I've heard complaints from people, but you're gonna hear complaints on everything. I think their tables started like nowadays they're 250 for a 6 foot table. The cool thing is you ought to look at some of my Chicago videos um, that from previous years. I posted them. Yeah, the exposure is big. Kinzel, okay. Kinzel, Chris Kinzel, okay. I'll, I'll try to remember to mention that to him. Um, yeah, the exposure is great. The cool thing, Plunder, would be one of the few guys selling pot or selling knives up there. I know there's like leather workers that come there, and typically they have stuff like um, oh, leather drying trays, leather pipe stands, obviously leather bags. I mean, a lot of their stuff is geared towards pipes, not 100% of it. And then also on top of your knives, I know there's some guys do those handmade tampers. Um, if you did some handmade tampers, I can't imagine you wouldn't sell a decent amount of tampers and knives. I mean, heck, when you got a bunch of guys together, knives, guns, pipes, it all kind of pulls at us. So it might be a good place to be. You don't have all the extra. You go to a knife show, you're competing against everybody in that show for knives. Uh, and I don't mean to say competing in a bad way, but they're looking at every table that has a knife on it. Whereas they come up there, they may have two tables that have knives on it. So if one of them speaks to them, they're not distracted by everybody else that has knives that are just a little bit different. Oh yeah, I saw your stands. That was cool. Yeah, if you did tampers and sands and brought some knives too, that that would be fun. Yep, the one guy does pottery. He does coffee mugs. Yep, does pretty well also. Yeah, I've never spoke with him. I've seen his mugs. I'm not really a coffee drinker. Otherwise, I probably would talk to him, but I've never acquired the taste for coffee. It's always seemed too bitter. I'm just kind of starting within the last year, dipping my toes in that direction, and everybody likes to make fun of me for it. Is McDonald's caramel frappes? They are not a sponsor of this video, but it's got kind of that coffee-ish taste to it. It's kind of like a shake, but I can handle the coffee in that or the coffee flavoring in that. So maybe over time of drinking those, I can switch over to drinking some regular coffee. Make a tobacco plug cutting set. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea, Greg. Never even thought of that. Sounds like you got a new new possible project there, Plunder. Yeah, if you could make some specialty knives for cutting plugs, that would definitely get some people's attentions. Um, the plugs typically, I don't, I don't know if that's what you're saying. You'll have to find out what that is. Um, a plug is typically whole leaf tobacco that they stack, and I think they stack alternating layers of different types of tobaccos that they're putting in the blend, and then they put it under a lot of pressure. I don't know what that pressure is, and they smash it together. I mean, you get, it's kind of like flake. A cake is basically a flake that's not been cut, I think, but then the plugs go beyond that because I think they're pressed to a much higher pressure level because they are a lot more dense, and it definitely takes a good knife to cut through those plugs. I mean, a cake, a lot of times you can just pull on them or use your fingers to work them apart, whereas with a plug, even if you got to the point using pliers or something where you were working it apart, you'd be dealing with whole leaves instead of a cake is typically ribbon cut or whatever, shag cut, whatever cut they have, and then pressed together. Whereas the plug is like whole leaves, layers of it. So you have to cut it, otherwise. Sorry about that. You have to cut it, otherwise it's all going to be basically tied together. So yeah, they make those a lot denser and a lot harder to cut. But yeah, that would be a good idea, Greg. Need a sharp blade and the correct angle, etc., to be able to get a nice cut through the plugs. And that's pretty awesome. Just sitting here chit chatting while I'm on a drive and putting together live just to talk to you guys and have a good time. And here we're able to help Plunder out with a marketing idea. You guys are awesome. Great job on that, Greg. That is truly awesome. Helping another artisan out. Yeah, they don't have to be as big. I saw that one big knife you were making the other day. I have one that I would use for plug at home. I don't have too many plugs. Um, Trying to think who makes that blade. CRT, I think is the name. Somebody bought it for me for Christmas. If I was going to cut some plug or I opened a container and it had plug in it, I would probably pull out that little knife from CR. I think it's CRT or CRK. It's only probably about 2 inches, maybe 2.25 inches across the cutting surface, and it probably stands an inch and a half tall, maybe. Cricket or something like that. Yeah, I think that's the brand I have, and somebody bought it for me for Christmas. And it's just a small one. It's got a little rope necklace or like paracord necklace that goes into a little plastic sheath, and got a little handle on it. Doesn't have a big full size handle. It's just got a small handle that's maybe 2.5 inches long or something. Um, Something that in that range would work for cut and plug, I would imagine. I mean, you could go bigger if you want. I don't know if it would help. I'm not a real big knife guy or plug guy yet. Haven't really experienced those a whole lot, but my brain's spinning, doing a lot of nothing. But should it be a little wider on the top, on the back side of the blade, where when you're pushing down with your thumb, or maybe even have a tang, because you got the handle that you would hold in. I'm right-handed, so I'd hold the handle in my right hand. On the front edge of the blade, would it be good to have a tang or a fishtail or like a little whale tail coming off the front that's 90 degrees to the blade, so you can put pressure with your thumb on the front leading edge of your knife, so you can rock it back and forth to slice it down into the plug? With that, what do you guys think? Do you think that would uh, be beneficial, or at least the backside of the blade should flare out more, so you've got a bigger area to put your thumb on to put pressure on to push that through the plug? Or do you cut the plug more? Do you saw at it more? Like I say, I haven't done a lot of plugs. I probably only have one at my house currently. I probably need to get some more plugs and give them a try. What do you think, Montana? Eula knife would be perfect, but don't quote me. I'm not sure what a Eula knife is. Push through, not saw. That's what I thought, is you want to push through, but that's kind of hard on the thumb or fingers on your left hand when you're trying to apply that force on the back of a blade that's not very wide. That's why I thought maybe if it flared out and had the trailing edge of the blade to be a little wider. Yep, push. So just a couple more ideas maybe you can incorporate to make your knife a little more user friendly. I know we'll throw in a big fancy corporate word. We'll call it ergonomically designed rocking style. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. So you can rock it back and forth to push through it. Yeah, so that's the thing. You ergonomically design these plug cutting knives so they're easier on the hands. Pizza cutters, like, all right, so you already have some hands-on experience with something similar. That's cool. Now you got me excited, looking forward to seeing one of these, Plunder. Give me goosebumps, kind of. Either I'm getting cold in here. I'm not sure which. Want to be able to make things in slices. Yep, cool. Now, I saw something that was probably AI generated the other day, Plunder. It looked really cool, but I just don't know whether it was real or not. This guy was uh, making a knife, and I wasn't even going looking for anything like that. It just happened to come up in my scrolling on Instagram. This guy was forging a knife, still had the knife red hot, and he took this feather off of some bird and laid it down on the blade, and of course it just burned up and evaporated as soon as it touched it. But he laid it down, and as he laid it down, he kind of just pulled it to the back a little bit, and when it come out, it had these weird designs that feather made, supposedly. When that blade was red hot, it left that design in the metal. Looked pretty wild. I just don't know whether that's accurate and if that really would happen or not. I can't think of what they call that. Damascus. It looked kind of like Damascus, not exactly, obviously, but it kind of had that vibe to it. But it was in a feather shape. I don't know if that actually worked or not, or smoothing that is feathered Damascus. Okay, actual thing, just not made by a feather. Oh, okay. Yeah, they showed actually using a feather, so it's kind of weird, kind of neat looking, but I didn't know if that was really a thing or an AI generated. That's the bad thing about all this AI and this technology we have nowadays, you just don't know what's real, what's not. I bought an old school tobacco plug cutter. I'm almost done restoring, but not very portable. Yeah? Huh. Is your plug cutter for like a individual plug, or is it more set up for a factory that's doing a big, like 12 by 18 or something, and they're just chopping off making the plugs? Or is it a small unit, which you said is not very portable, so I'm assuming, yeah, 2 feet thing? Yeah. So that's like something you might use in a factory for cutting off chunks of it. Yeah, just the little knives probably the best way to go, like we were talking earlier. I don't know. Is there anything else you need besides what stores use to cut the bulk plug? Oh, okay. Is there is there anything else besides the knife itself? Uh, we've talked a little bit about the design of the knife and how we're trying to accomplish the cut and everything. Is there anything besides the knife itself or a sheath that it goes in to make? Because you mentioned a kit, I believe, a cutting board. Okay. Yep, you're on the. I'm a little slow here, Greg, but you're on the right page with me. You know where I was going with it, trying to figure out this kit, what you might need. A cutting board. Um, so probably a wooden cutting board. Do you want it? Would that be something like hollowed out, like I've seen Tom on Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey that has a wooden. I thought it looked like a wooden drying board, um, but it looked like it was kind of had a depression or a area machined out of it that was a little lower, so it didn't fall off the edges. So I don't know. I have a friend that makes like cutting boards for the kitchen, but you're talking big things. I wonder how big a 4x6. Do you think that'd be a big enough cutting surface? I would think that would be big enough for a plug. But then, do you want to router the interior so it has a little lip of a wall around it uh, so you don't spill it out onto the table possibly? And then when you're mentioning cutting boards, the cutting boards that my friend does for kitchens, he layers different types of woods together, glues it all together that way. Is that, I mean, that's a possibility. Or are you just thinking one oak board just with the inside router and round the edges on it and call it good? A concave cutting board to rock back and forth. Yeah, Com- combo, but defer to others. Yeah, and that may not even be something, plunder, that you have to do yourself. I mean, you could if you wanted. I mean, you're already doing the blacksmithing. I can't imagine that you don't have the ability to do some wood, but the problem is then it requires more equipment. If you have somebody that maybe you could hook up with locally that could make those little things, maybe work out some sort of deal with them, tell them what you have in mind, and this person wouldn't even have to go to the show. They could just make them, and you could give them the cost of making it, and a little bit of profit, and then you can make a little bit of profit just for being able to offer them. Maybe you could do it as a I don't know if you want to call the word consignment on their end. I don't know. I'm not the best businessman around. Um, I get told that by my mentor that us artisan guys aren't the best business-minded people. So you may have a better plan on how to work something out like that with your guy that you have. Knife, sheath, board, solid set. Bonus points if you can get them all bundled into one sheath to carry case. The board you toss in your bag is about a 3x3, so yeah, it's not even a big item. I mean, a 3x3 square, that's pretty doable. Nest together, knife stored in back. Holy smokes, Greg, you are killing it with the ideas, man. And Chris with the size and the set, and I mean, you guys are all chipping in on this idea for plunder. Woo, that's awesome. That is cool. You just slide the knife inside the back side of the board and maybe have a little dowel pin or something that flips around to keep the knife from sliding back out of the slot that it goes in. Yeah, fits in the bag better. You don't lose it. Man, I think they have got you a item here, Thunder. Need to do more live drives. I think they've got you a solid idea here, Plunder, for something to sell at the pipe shows. I'm not saying your knives wouldn't sell, but to have something, to have your knives there and to have an item that is directly related to pipe smoking like that and that unique, I mean, I haven't seen anything like that. Yeah, you don't misplace your knife from your cutting board. It's all intact. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the pipe stands, they're unique. They're going to get some attention at the pipe show. Um, your knives are going to get attention because nobody else is going to be having knives. And then to have this little plug cutting set, holy smokes. What are you thinking, Plunder? Are you liking these ideas? They are, aren't they, Plunder? Very cool. Man, this wasn't even the intent of the live, and you guys have knocked it out of the park today. Oh yeah, I think it'd be a big hit in Chicago. I mean, nobody's seen anything like that. What we're talking about now, nobody's done, and that to me is one of the barriers of any market is coming up with something different that nobody else is doing. Even if they bring a wooden cutting block, yeah, it's a wooden cutting block. Everybody makes those, but to have one with an artisan-made knife that stores within the cutting block also, and the convenience of a 3-inch or 4-inch square just to drop into your pipe bag, it's killer, I think. It is killer. Get some of those kits made before Chicago, and then maybe do some pictures or videos alluding to, but not exposing what it really is prior to the show. Kind of hold back a little bit of the info so everybody doesn't just automatically know and just put out the little teasers. Be looking for Plunder Shop at the Chicago show for a new and unique item that is going to rock the pipe world. And then show up and have those displayed. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would think with them being plug knives, you're going to have a little less material because you're not making the full 5 or 6 inch knife, and hopefully that would cut down on. I'm sure it's not going to cut down hugely, but I would think it would help in the production process also because you're not making a full size knife. So when you're sharpening an edge, you're only sharpening two and a half, probably 2.5 inches of blade instead of a 5 inch blade. So I would think that it's going to save you some time, make them a little quicker to make, hopefully. Even make some nesting, a pick, and a tamper. Everything you need in one item. And Greg, you are killing it. Heck, I was happy with just stopping at the cutting board and the storage of the plug cutting knife inside it. But now you're adding a pick and a tamper that slides in it. Holy smokes. And what you could do, I would think, is you make the set, and if somebody just wants to buy like the knife and cutting board, that's fine. But the boards are already pre-made to fit a pick and tamper. So if they want to save some money up front, they could just buy the knife and the board, and then maybe later on they could order I don't know what the cost difference would be on that. Maybe it wouldn't be enough to matter, but try to make it to where it's all interchangeable. So if later on they decide to add something to their kit, they could. Blade blanks knocked out by CNC and then hand forged finish. Huh. Yeah, that would be Plunder's area of expertise, whether he knows how great an idea that is, not mine. And you guys rock, for sure. Now, I'm really looking forward to hey, I don't know. Thanks to you guys for everything you've done today. Uh, I mean, being willing to share ideas like that to help another artist and pipe maker out, I really appreciate it. Hey, good morning. How's it going, Dave? Hope everything's going great. I'm on a trip to go pick up some more Briar, and it looks like this. Not like those Wyoming views, but we got some snow. The wife didn't want me coming out last week with that snowstorm blowing in, so had to put it off a week. So I'm headed over to Ohio, about a 3.5 hour drive to go pick through some Briar and find some new Briar blocks. Yeah, I think Montana's feeling the same way as you are. They're warm over there in Wyoming. Oh, how warm is Wyoming? Yeah, Montana Piper's warm over there, I think. He ain't seeing hardly any winter weather. You guys have pushed it over on us. trying to get away from machines, no problem there, Plunder. 40 degrees, yeah, that's nice. I think we're at 8 degrees here. Um, Man, you missed out on a lot of this, Dave. This live that I've been doing. I've been on here for 85 minutes, and these guys have come together, and they have a product idea for Plunder Shop, S&S Plunder Shop. He does handmade knives, and we were trying to talk him into coming to the Chicago show, and we now have a project for him if he's willing to take it on making a plug cutting knife, cutting board, tamper, and pick combo. Three months to make as many of these as possible. No worries, Plunder says. So yeah, these guys have pitched in and threw out ideas and come up with a pretty neat setup. I think. I'm looking forward to seeing Plunder Shop make some of these. Yeah, taking orders isn't a bad idea. I'm looking for the prototype first. Let's start with baby steps. Let's see the prototype, Plunder. I'm excited to see it. These guys have tossed around a few ideas, and I think it's going to be a pretty awesome little plug cutting setup, basically. One you can put in your pipe bag and take with you. I'm going to spend probably 10 hours or 11 hours a day, Dave, not getting any work done at home, unfortunately. But I think it's important to make this run over on C. Primal, and he's got some Briar new shipment, and going to get to go through and hand pick out some blocks and try to get a decent stockpile of Briar there to have at the house. Yeah, good for cutting tobacco ropes too. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably still 45 minutes out from getting to Columbus. So at least we've knocked out most of the trip over. Great exposure, launch platform, and then sell orders for everyone who sees the pics of them from the show on the socials. Get Jess on board. Yeah, it's a winter wonderland out here. We only have about a foot over by me, though. They haven't added anything to it, which I'm glad. My driveway's clear. That's what's important. I can get up my hill to get to my house. All right, guys. Well, we're coming up on 90 minutes. We've been on here an hour and a half. So I'm probably going to pull over and clean my windshield here, one of these exits, because it's pretty nasty looking. Try to see if I can get my other windshield washer line working, maybe. So I'm going to hop off here. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. And thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the great ideas for Plunder. I'm sure he appreciates that. I definitely do. It's great to see you guys come together and come up with something like that. Breakfast is ready. I hope it's better than the one I stopped and picked up when I left out of the house. These places have a horrible time making good biscuits and gravy. I think they get their gravy from a bag, and I think they cook their biscuits 3 days earlier. It was hard as a brick. Wasn't worth eating. Alrighty, guys. Like I say, hope you have a blessed weekend, and I'll talk with you later. Hype on.